MovieWeb.com.
The war is long over. You and the other priests did your jobs.
The citizens have complete faith in the church's ability to keep them safe.
Get her down below!
Whatever you hear, don't scream.
In some ways, this movie is sort of like a combination of the part you played in the Da Vinci Code and in Legion. Do you see that, or do you think it's totally another beast?
I don't know. I mean, I hadn't thought of it before. I mean, you know, perhaps he's a man of few words, and so was Silas, I suppose. But Silas is a psychopath.
That's true.
And the Archangel was an archangel, you know. And this guy's he's a veteran. He's a soldier, and he's, you know, the war is over. The people that he was once protecting now sort of despise him, or, you know, at best have forgotten him, and he suddenly finds himself important and useful again when his niece is kidnapped, and there begins a sort of, you know, blistering paced, you know, movie, just chocker full of action.
You must be starving. You haven't eaten in days. Have you ever had real roast duck?
Of course not.
Try it. You'll never have better.
What are you?
Church teaches us that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and that since vampire evolved without eyes, it is a soulless creature to be eradicated.
When you were brought into the world of Priest,
yeah,
how much of the story were you aware of? What did you know would be happening?
Okay, so I guess my introduction to Priest was reading the script, which I thought was, you know, compelling and really interesting, and had really sort of fun characters, and it was a character-driven piece. And so then I met with Scott, and he kind of outlined this, you know, his epic vision for the movie, and, you know, immediately I kind of was in tune and in sync with what he was talking about. He was referencing films like Blade Runner and, you know, and some of the other, you know, Alien and Lord of the Rings and John Ford's The Searchers, and as he was describing what he wanted to do, and you know, it's just extraordinary seeing the finished film, and it's all there. I mean, he just did a phenomenal job. For physical prowess. As a woman, how does that feel?
I guess pretty great. I mean, you know, because I work hard at, you know, it's not sort of something that just happens. You're not like, well, you know, I'm strong and I can do things, and I train a lot, and I choreograph myself, and I create things, and I do gymnastics, and I do things. I mean, I'm constantly trying to heighten my physicality as a woman in my 30s, which is like ridiculous.
I think that's awesome.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, I mean, who knew that would happen? You know, you sort of think that everything that you're gonna do well, you do when you're, you know, sort of 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And I'm more physical, stronger, and more body aware than I've ever been in my 30s. Because I take the time now, and I feel like being a smarter and more evolved individual woman allows me sort of, you know, the level, you know, to expand on my physicality even, which is interesting.
find her?
I couldn't get close. They took her to the front.
What was your awareness of Priest, of the story, before you came into the film?
I mean, I didn't really know much about it. When we, or at least when I was hired, we dove into the comic, even though it doesn't, it takes place in the future, or I guess after this, the comics, and so it doesn't like exactly pertain to this story, but you're kind of, that's the world that he created, and that's what we're kind of paying homage to, so.
I mean, I went out and bought some of the series right after I was cast, and I, forgot or didn't really know that Lucy was created for the movie. So I was reading, looking for my character, and then realized, I'm like, wait, I'm into like 17 now, and she's still not there. So I got a good backstory, and I really felt like I knew the backbone of the lineage that we came from and the ancestry of, the priests and stuff. So
I was reading the press notes, and you're a brown belt in karate.
I think that's her.
Really?
Oh, that's so me. No, actually, I made it to black.
Obviously.
That must have been you.
Oh,
It's brown.
yeah, that must
I think you're confusing yourself.
But I think it's interesting that you're relegated to using a gun. You don't ever get to use those skills in this movie.
Well, I mean, I don't really have skills. It's been greatly exaggerated, but I appreciate it. The gun was, I don't think I have have that kind of skill to actually do any sort of damage to anyone in particular. Mm-hmm. But so the gun, the fact that it was huge and I have my knife and my shotgun and motorcycle, I felt more protected that way.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Your words mean nothing to me, priest.
For thou art with me.
When you're working with Paul,
Mm-hmm.
what is the relationship like?
Well, it's not sexual.
But it could be if you really wanted it to be.
No, seriously, he's really wonderful to work with. I mean, every day he turns up. He's the lead of this movie, and he turns up and he has such a positive attitude, and that really kind of filters through the rest of the cast and the entire crew. And it's just fun, He knows how to have a laugh, and he doesn't take himself too seriously. And we get on with the work.
He is absolutely amazing, and every day he just inspires the entire crew, entire cast, and he just kind of has that essence about him that is both captivating, and you just love him as the person that he is and the actor. So
He's a major class act, and he's almost like a modern Renaissance man. I mean, because he's so savvy on all types of literature as well as politics. So whenever we are on set, he just talks about all sorts of things, and then he'll go into his character, and then they'll stop rolling, and he'll start talking about something else. Or he knows so much about so much, and he's willing to share that with other people and be as enthusiastic every day. And
When you're working with Cam and with Karl, what is the relationship?
Oh, it's awful.
Terrible. They seem like horrible people.
They're really dreadful people. Just Cam
Not
won't
talented.
stop talking. It's awful.
Oh God, awful.
No, they're both everybody on the set, I would lie and tell you it was great, but I don't have to. It really was, I think, the most joyful, fun experience on a movie set that any of us had. We all had the best fun, including the crew. I mean, I really think you could ask anybody from the crew, and they would say
That it was just a rip-roaring time.
It was a rip-roaring time.
They might say harnesses for everyone.
I think everybody should wear a harness if I'm wearing one.
You're too late, priest. This is their turn now.
idea what's coming, priest?